Alrighty. Make sure I'm on. Cancel. Boom. Boom. Give everyone a little bit of time to come on in here. Welcome to the show today. All right, let's get into it. This is New York pizza, apparently on a barbecue.
And today, I'm going to show you how we made these. Beautiful, delicious, huge, cheesy, pepperoni, amazing 18-inch New York style pizzas featuring Evan.
Hi.
And Dave.
Hello.
Coming up. This is some meat. Oh geez. Pat it dry. And what I got here is some straight up pepperoni. These are actually the cup and char pepperonis that are absolutely incredible on pizza, which is ideal because today we're going to be trying to make some classic New York style pizzas. And if you've been watching this channel over the last few years, you'll know that I've been really into pizza making lately, as a lot of pitmasters are. And I think that's because a pizza cooks in like 1 to 10 minutes as opposed to a brisket, which takes days. Although I guess we do need to wait for that dough to rise for at least a day, so not the quickest process, but still a lot of fun and incredibly tasty. But in all of my other pizza making videos that I've made over the last couple of years, I've never claimed that any of them are an authentic New York style pizza, and that's mostly because I'm scared of people in the comments, because there's a lot of pizza snobs out there that'll say I'm not using the right sauce, the right cheese, or most commonly, the pizza isn't big enough. But recently we got a new pizza oven here at the Chud Shop, the Gosney Dome XL, which can make a lot bigger pizzas. And I think the biggest we can go is about an 18-inch pie, and a quick Google search tells me that a New York style pizza is anywhere from 18 to 24 inches, so I think that's big enough. And joining me on this pizza making adventure is Dave from Wilson's Barbecue over in the UK. Dave, how you doing, buddy?
Very good. Always good in Texas.
We've been shooting a lot of videos over the last week. Brisket, ribs, sausage, turkey, couple barbecue runs. So if you want to see some of our content that we shot together this week, be sure to go over to Wilson's Barbecue here on YouTube and hit that subscribe button. Because if we could get the Chud Nation to get Dave over 100,000 subscribers, I could die a happy man. But Dave, what's your experience with making New York style pizza so far?
Kind of similar to you. I've tried to get close, and I've done a video which I called New York style pizza, but as you say, you often get called out for the little things that you don't do quite as authentically as you maybe should. But there are a ton of different things that you could do to get it that little bit more authentic, like making sure the dough's right, the sauce, the cheese, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
I think it's going to be pretty close to a New York pizza.
Yeah, should. So starting from the ground up, we need to make a pizza dough, but luckily we knocked that out last night. So what? Let's go back to last night. Starting with some warm water.
And some yeast.
And a sugar. Give that a little mix. And then in with our bread flour.
And some diastatic malt powder.
Get that mixed by hand, just for a second, otherwise flour goes everywhere. And we're gonna let that mix for just a couple of minutes.
What setting do you go for?
I'm on 2 right now.
Everyone always asks.
Really?
What speed?
Never got that once.
Really?
And once the dough ball has just come together, we're gonna let this auto-lease and kind of rest so that flour can hydrate and let everything come together for like 15 minutes. And after about 15 minutes, I'm now gonna go in with some olive oil.
And some salt.
Now we're gonna let this mix for about 10 minutes, maybe a little longer, until everything is looking nice and smooth. Why am I over here? We're on level 3, by the way. After about 10 minutes of mixing, this is looking pretty good, coming together, starting to look pretty smooth.
So when this comes out, it's going to be pretty sticky. And before we put it into a bowl, we want it to be nice and taut and easier to handle. And you can make it easier to handle by giving it a couple of folds and losing the stickiness by creating a nice seal on the top. If it's too sticky, use your bench scraper. Do this a couple of times until it's nice and smooth on top.
You just made that dough look so much better in like 10 seconds.
Yeah, so it comes out looking really shaggy, but if you fold it under itself, it creates a nice
Shaggy!
smooth skin. As that rises, everything's going to stretch. All those bubbles are going to be kept within the dough, and you're going to end up with a nice, much more area rise, and it won't be sticky.
Now we're gonna let this rise for the next maybe hour and a half, maybe 2, depending on how long it takes to get this gluten formed, to get this dough as strong as we need it to be. So we'll check back in probably 30 minutes. Now you may be curious, what do you do while you let your pizza dough rest, you know? There's plenty of options. You can go to the gym, you know, you can read a book, learn something, or have a seafood boil with the boys.
We're learning something.
Yup, learning how much butter we can fit.
Do you want a shrimp, Brad?
Dave, how many seafood boils have we done together at the Chut Shop?
This has got to be our 4th or 5th. It's tradition.
It's been about an hour and a half, and every 30 minutes I've come through and given this a good old-fashioned stretch and fold. Simply grab a corner, stretch it out, fold it over, and do that about 3 or 4 times. This is really going to help strengthen the gluten and make this dough.
Well, okay, my pizza dough, obviously, I do a 72-hour dough. What a fact, I think I gotta make pizza tonight.
A
Or at
little
least
bit
make
less
dough.
sticky. But now that we've done that 3 times, out it comes. Boop. Start punching out a little bit of that air, and then we'll divide this into 3 equal portions weighing about 575 grams each. So now we're going to get these formed up into some beautiful little dough balls ready for an overnight fermentation. And like I said earlier, Dave is the best I know at making a perfect hot dough ball.
So I like to pick it up and fold it outwards and tuck it in with my fingers under. And just keep going until, again, you get that nice smooth exterior, and just twist it round.
Essentially, we're doing the same thing as the table roll in your hand for like a tortilla or a burger bun or something, but it's just so gigantic. You just got to kind of get that tension built.
Exactly. If it is too sticky for your hands and you're struggling with it, dough scrapers are really good, using the friction of the board. Not sticky whatsoever. That's when you know it's ready to go.
And now we're going to cover these up, pop them in the fridge overnight for a nice long fermentation, and we could go up to 3 days. And for me personally, I usually just do an overnight rest on this dough. I feel like it's just a lot easier to work with one day as opposed to 3 days later.
Yeah, same. I feel like you get diminishing returns after a day, especially for the home cook.
Right, because we got diastatic malt powder in there, that's bringing a lot of that malty flavor, and that yeast is in there, so overnight works well for me. It just makes the dough easy enough to work with, and it's still built enough flavor.
Yeah,
So,
and works for my schedule more often than not.
so wrap these up in the fridge, and we'll check back in tomorrow. This video is brought to you by Helix Sleep. Helix Sleep makes premium quality mattresses and bedding customized to fit your needs and conveniently shipped right to your door. Combining high quality materials and innovative tech.
All right. Skip the fucking ad.
To a New York style pizza sauce, crushed canned tomatoes or whole canned tomatoes is generally what you're going to see used. There's a million different brands out there, and they all are pretty good, you know. Generally, I reach for the Cento all-in-ones. I've had a lot of success with those. Then there's like Full Red, the 7-Eleven, Red Pack. Depending on where you go, everyone's going to be using something a little bit different, but we popped by the Restaurant Depot earlier today, and we grabbed these 7-Eleven crushed tomatoes, which I've definitely seen places in New York using.
100%.
And luckily, we just weighed some out here. It's already a really great pizza sauce consistency, so we really don't need to blend it up or anything like that. And a New York sauce is never cooked, and there's so many different variables, right?
Yeah.
That's where I disagree. I like to do my sauce in a slow cooker for at least, hello to juice, an hour on high and then at least a couple of hours on low.
So I don't think you can ever get a New York pizza slice shop sauce perfect because everywhere's going to do it differently.
Yeah.
Some will use sugar, some won't use sugar, some will just add salt and nothing else. Others will put in fresh basil. So this is a recipe that hits pretty balanced on everything and works really well for this recipe.
So we weighed out about 950 grams of our tomatoes.
Tomatoes.
Tomatoes, sorry. Now I'm gonna go in with some kosher salt,
Some sugar
some oregano.
and some garlic powder.
I got this Calabrian oregano because I've put Mexican oregano in pizzas in the past, and Dave noticed that it wasn't exactly correct. And we've got Greek oregano too, but I figured let's get some Italian oregano.
Yeah, and it smells so good.
Yeah, got that on Amazon. I'll check a link in the description for you. And now we'll do our best to get this all mixed up. Probably end up putting this in a bowl for a more thorough mixing. But super simple sauce is done. When it comes to cheese for a New York style pizza, it's pretty standard across the board that we're looking for some whole milk, low moisture mozzarella. And there's some different brands out there, and I've never been able to find, what is it?
Grande.
You gotta order that special in.
A lot of the pizza places in New York are going to be using Grande for their pizzas, but you typically have to get it from a food service supplier.
Right. So that's why we went to Restaurant Depot, hopefully to find some really good cheeses. They didn't have Grande, but they did have this block of Supremo Italiano, and I've actually used this for pizzas in the past, and it works out really well. A lot of great flavor, really good meltability.
And we thought we'd give this pre-shredded stuff a go, which is Polio shredded low moisture mozzarella cheese.
I've heard a lot about Polio on the pizza forums before.
Yep.
And normally I'm not a pre-shredded cheese kind of guy because
me
it's
either.
got like silica, whatever in there, so, you know, anti-caking agents. But I have seen videos of pizzerias in New York sprinkling pre-shredded cheese on there. So
Yep.
figured for one of the pies, let's give it a go and see if it's worth it because it's pretty convenient. But if not, you can get yourself a big block like this, or you can go to any deli counter and just ask for a chunk of the boar's head that they've got behind the deli. That's what I do all the time. Just ask for a chunk like that big, shred it yourself, it'll fill a quart and get you a good few pies out of it. We've also got some pecorino and some Parmesan that we will microplane on the pies later. Out this dough comes. I got some semolina flour at the ready. Sprinkle some of this on the board to make sure nothing sticks and get this turned out. Beautiful. Grab some more semolina and just dust this thing all over. You can also use all-purpose flour. Dave, what do you prefer?
I prefer semolina. I like the flavor of it. I like the slight crunchiness of it, and it doesn't burn as bad as flour or as easy as flour.
Right. But to start out, I'm gonna go ahead and make this crust. Just trying to push this, stretch it out, and get it as big as we can on the table. We'll pick it up, knock some of that semolina off, and just start getting it stretched out as big as we can. Oh yeah, this is a real easy dough to work with. Just trying to avoid any thin spots in the middle here and get this stretched out nice and big, but man, an 18-inch pizza is huge. The one thing that's the least authentic about what we're doing is we don't have a deck oven, which is typically what they're using in New York City, but we do have the big old Gosney, and the opening is only 18 inches. It's pretty roomy once you get in there, but you know, launching is still really difficult, especially with a giant peel, and I don't really have a peel big enough for that. So we're gonna cheat like I usually do. You taught me this trick, the old pizza screen. Love this thing, comes in super handy, takes all the stress out of launching. You can make sure you get a perfectly round pie, and it's just going to be on there for a couple of minutes till the crust forms, and then we'll take it off so we get some good toasting on the bottom. So don't know if it's entirely necessary, but I always put a little semolina on the screen itself. Like 99% of this is going right through, but it makes me feel a little bit better. And then we're going to get this bad boy on there. This is going to be thin. That's what we're aiming for.
I gotta,
Gotta be.
I gotta try to par cook my pizza.
I think not being thin enough is the number one thing I get called out on when I'm trying to make a New York style pizza. So
Really. Looking pretty good. So now,
really good.
down with our sauce. Nice little dollop in the middle. Oh, smells really good. And then try to get this evenly spread out. Dave, you got any sauce tips?
I would say to not put too much sauce on, because the heavier the pizza and the longer it's on the screen or your peel, the more likely it is to stick and have problems launching. If you're not using the screen, if you are using the screen, it can still stick and it can be kind of tricky to get it off once it's ready. So same with the cheese as well, to be honest. I think less is more.
Yeah, if there was any problem I had making pizzas, it's always just adding too much of everything.
I love it when you get that little spiral look.
And then down with a little bit of pecorino. Just got the microplane out here. For me, a little bit goes a long way with pecorino. Adds a nice little salty pop.
And a nice little cheesy funk that you don't get with young mozzarella.
Speaking of mozzarella, that's going on next. Just a nice, even spread. And just like that, all cheesed up, I think that looks pretty good. Not too much cheese, but definitely enough.
That is great.
And let's throw a little cheeky olive oil on the crust, shall we? just to help with browning and add a little bit of flavor.
Can help you with good color on the crust if your oven's maybe not that hot, especially if you're using a home oven,
Right.
which this recipe works perfectly for.
Yeah, that's the thing about New York pizzas is we're only cooking at like 600 degrees. So if your oven goes up to 550, you're pretty close.
Yeah.
Looking pretty good to me. Let's go launch it. So this is it, the Gosney Dome XL. And as you can see, barely fits through there, but in we go. Push it the rest of the way in with the peel here. Sit it right in the back. And currently we're rocking at about 660 degrees in the dome, 702 floor heat. So hopefully should be perfect temperatures, not too hot. We're gonna let this thing cook away, and as soon as it starts puffing up, we'll rotate. Getting some good puffage on that crust, starting to brown up a little bit, and continue to rotate. Cheese is melting gently, which is always a good thing. Just a couple minutes in, almost one full rotate. I'm gonna try and get this thing off the screen now, simply by going underneath it gently, trying not to rip any holes or anything like that. Grab it with a heat glove, and there we go. On the deck, and now we're just gonna keep on cooking till the crust is nicely browned, and we get some good color on the underside. And the flame is on at low at this point. We preheated it on high for a good 45 minutes or so, got it up to about 900 degrees, then killed the flame down to low, and let the temps drop naturally down to about 650. Ooh, we're getting some good color on that crust. Good puffage. I'm gonna give it like 30 more seconds, and then out this comes. Fresh out of the oven, looking good. The crust didn't get too big, which is great. Cheese is looking really nice. That's been my biggest problem on the Arc XL is I just blast the cheese.
Yeah.
But what do you think, Dave? How's it looking?
That is the best looking pizza I've seen you make,
Hell
for
yeah,
sure.
dude.
I love how, like, you got those black leopard in spots, which are great. They're not burnt, they add flavor. They're nicely distributed all around. You've got some blistering as well, like all these little micro bubbles on the crust. Got that sandy texture from the semolina, which adds a great crunch and flavor. And the cheese is evenly cooked and browned, and spots of tomato sauce still coming through. Perfect.
How's your bottom looking?
Looks very good.
Oh yeah, that looks great.
And you know what? Slice shops in New York, as you know, a lot of them hang out in the counter, and when you order a slice, they refire it. So we can just do that. And
Yeah,
get
we're
that
probably
extra.
gonna have to for this one because we got 2 more pies to make.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, you wanna knock one out?
Yeah. Yeah, so I like to form the crust first. Some people like to start in the middle and work their way out, but I figure if I leave plenty of dough in the middle, when I start to stretch it, there'll be enough dough to stretch. If I start in the middle and start stretching it, that thin spot only gets thinner. And this is quite an airy dough, so I'm trying to knock as much of that air bubbles out as possible.
How you liking that consistency of that sauce?
I really like it. It's slightly chunky, not too smooth. I also like that it came already kind of at the right consistency, because if you don't put it through a mill and you just blend it with a blender, it chews up all those seeds and your sauce kind of turns orange.
It looks like you had a little semolina party on your shirt.
I did. I may have spanned the pizza and it just span off loads of semolina on me.
Or you have really bad dandruff. Yeah. Going on with the Polio pre-shredded on this one, which I really like right now because it's bigger shreds than what you're gonna get out of a box grater.
Yeah.
And it's really convenient, so I hope this works out.
Yeah, I don't often use pre-shredded mozzarella, so I'm interested to see how the potato starch or non-clumping agent affects the cheese, because everyone always says it, but I don't know if I fully experience like negatives.
Right.
To the bit.
Bubbling up already.
Yeah. Gonna keep a close eye on this, turn it pretty frequently to get an even cook.
Going a little bit hotter on this one, but so far that cheese is looking pretty nice and melty.
Yeah. It's kind of created like a more consistent blanket of cheese than
Yeah,
that, than
that's
that
what I
other
was thinking.
stuff.
It looks like, yeah, a sheet.
Yeah.
Beauty.
This one has pre-grated cheese. This one has a block of mozzarella that we grated. This looks more like frozen pizza.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
The browning on the consistent browning and like the complete layer of cheese versus this, which has kind of like almost split out a little bit.
I guess we're gonna keep grating our own cheese.
Yeah.
Great looking crust though, nice and big, nice and melty. Got one more dough. What should we do?
Let me see. Pepperoni?
Okay. Now, I think if we work together, we might be able to get all these pepperonis on
Yeah.
before 10 o'clock tonight. Do they use cup and chars on New York pizzas?
I think some places use pepperoni that cups and chars. but I don't think that they're buying in like the specific cup and char brands. Do you know what I mean? Like the ones that are like Ezo is not labeled as cup and char, but it's the one that everyone wants to get because it cups, because they use a collagen casing.
Well, if we get a bunch of flack in the comment section, we have to redo this video eventually. We'll get the proper pepperoni. We'll find the grande cheese.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pepperonis. A little extra cheese on top never hurt. And now we cook. I love seeing a bunch of pepperonis curling up. So much easier than launching. Do you think authentic pizza makers are gonna look down on us for using a screen?
100%.
Just solid, yep. Although I don't love the diamond pattern you get on the bottom.
No, me either. If we had a deck oven,
Yeah.
we wouldn't need to worry about it. But launching an 18-inch pizza in here with this door size on it would just be impossible.
Beautiful looking pepperoni pie. 1, 2, 3 18-inch pizzas. Hell yeah. Just refired the first one, so it's nice and hot for the taste test. A little Parmesan on all of these, because who doesn't need extra cheese?
This pizza.
Yeah, this one's pretty cheesy.
So it's one up through the middle, and then like a 45-degree
I'd eat the shit out of that.
there, and then another 45-degree there, and you get the biggest slices.
Oh, beautiful. That is a good looking slice of pizza right there. Let's cut the rest. Ladies, Evan, Dave, can I interest you in some New York style pizza?
Yes.
I'm officially calling it
Who the fuck are those two bitches?
New York style pizza because it's big enough.
Oh my god. So good. These are huge.
Yeah, that's a big old slice. Look at the flop factor.
What am I supposed to do?
That is what I'm aiming for on a New York style pizza.
It is really good.
Nice and thin, good leoparding, perfect cheese melting, sauce poking through.
Oh my gosh.
That's a good pizza right there.
This takes me back. Yeah. Just eating on the street.
Your New York days?
Homeless.
Were you poor?
Yeah, jinx on that one.
How's the crust?
Really good.
Nice and fluffy.
Perfect.
Nice and bready. Oh, that's good.
Perfect amount of sauce. Wow.
Yeah.
All things in balance.
This might be the best pizza night we've had at the Chud Shop so far.
No, literally.
I think so.
I mean, it has been a minute, but this is taking the tops in my brain.
Yeah, I wonder what's different.
I don't know.
Oh man, look at that drippage. Yum.
Nappy.
That's good.
Thank you.
Hard to beat a good old pepperoni pizza. Great color on the bottom of that one as well.
They're like little cups of fat. I love it.
What's the flop factor supposed to be on a New York?
I think that's perfect right there.
Yeah.
Just the tip.
Well, I don't think it would be floppy if it wasn't so big. Oh.
I'm just burning my lip on
Dick joke.
pepperoni juice over here.
That's some of the best pizza I've ever had for sure.
That's fantastic.
My God. Is this the biggest you can go?
Yeah, unless I get the angle grinder out, which I might do.
Yeah. That thing's annoying.
Yeah, there's a little metal archway in the Gosney that, if that was not there, we could get a 20-incher in there.
You can build your own. 36.
Okay, I think I like this cheese better.
Which cheese?
That
The
cheese.
first.
Yeah, that's what we
What is it?
would have assumed. It's just mozzarella that I shredded as opposed to pre-shredded.
Yeah. Tastes like delivery pizza.
Really?
The cheese, anyway.
Yeah, just as good, but not something I would expect to get off the street.
Great cook on it though.
I kind of wish they would have cut into eighths now.
Oh yeah, we can always just cut it
That's what I was
again.
looking for, and I didn't know where it was.
But that's kind of the whole deal with the New York slice. Is it's got to be as gigantic as
Yeah.
possible.
Eating this pre-shredded one last is so sad.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. I'm just going to go back to eat my pepperoni slice.
Yeah, it's such a small thing that makes a big difference.
It's something as simple as pizza, dough, cheese, sauce. Every single component matters a lot.
Yeah. You know, I'm usually a pepperoni, Italian sausage, pizza kind of guy.
No.
But this cheese is hitting pretty hard.
No, I think the cheese is my favorite. Did you make the pepperoni or is that?
No,
Fair.
no, we're not there yet.
A labor intensive.
But I did say when we got our first pizza oven that there will one day be a pepperoni pizza from scratch video. Probably from you, probably from me, probably from Eric at Two Guys in a Cooler. I'm just gonna wait for you guys to do it so I can learn. I just don't have a curing chamber yet.
Yeah.
For
I have one.
You do?
That's very
Yeah.
At the
true.
restaurant?
Remember when I was texting you a couple months back about how full your fridge was?
Yeah.
That-
All right. Good enough.
We're gonna talk.
Alrighty. Let's move along to meatball and gravy.
Week, I'm making all of my family's favorite meals. All of my picky eaters love these delicious Parmesan meatballs with cream gravy. And if you're a gravy lover, you're gonna love this recipe. I seasoned my ground beef with W sauce, salt, pepper, garlic, shallots, green pepper, and a little Parmesan cheese and breadcrumbs. I gave it a good mix, and I'm using an ice cream scooper to make sure my sizes are consistent. I rolled them up, and y'all, this is going to take a little bit of time, especially depending on how many you're making. I put them in a cast iron skillet and let them bake for about 40 minutes. While the meatballs are in the oven, I got started on a cream gravy. I sauteed my onions and garlic until they were a little charred, but I do like it like that. I sprinkled in some flour, mixed it up, and slowly poured in some beef broth, and
For the love of God, can people get a pepper grinder, please?
I mixed it on a low temperature. I sprinkled in my seasonings and a splash of whipping cream, and it should look a little something like this. I removed the meatballs from the oven, and y'all, they look so good. If you're a gravy lover, you can just throw the meatballs right in the gravy, or you can just pour a little bit on top, just like this. Either way, they're going to come out so good. This week, I'm making all of my family.
Alright. Ultimate wet burrito.
Craving my cheesy and saucy wet burritos, so today I'm going to show you how I make them. You're definitely going to be coming back for seconds. First, I'm browning up some ground beef. I like to go for like a pound of ground beef. I add my taco seasoning. This is where the flavor starts to pop. Get it nice and seasoned up, and don't forget to drain the fat. I added in water to help distribute the taco seasoning evenly throughout the meat, ensuring every bite is full of flavor. It also prevents the seasoning from clumping together in the pan. I added the refried beans in with the ground beef. It allows the beans to absorb all the savory flavors from the beef and taco seasoning. It also makes a creamier texture, gives the filling a richer, more satisfying texture. So this is what it looks like. Next, you're going to grab your tortillas, the big ones, because we need room for all this goodness. Lay it flat and start stuffing it with that savory, creamy mixture. Then go ahead and hit it with the Mexican blend and mozzarella cheese for that stretchy, melty magic. Roll it up tight, but don't stress if it's not perfect. Trust me, it'll taste amazing either way. This is the outcome. Added some cheese on top, and then I put my enchilada sauce, drizzle it right
So basically this is enchiladas. Except you should add the sauce first.
on top of that, okay? Added more shredded cheese. Now it's oven ready, okay? I baked it on 370.
Okay, technically not enchiladas because she wrapped them up completely. But it's splitting hairs.
For about 20 minutes or until the cheese is all bubbly and golden. I topped it with lettuce, tomatoes, diced onions, sour cream, jalapenos, and taco sauce. If you're feeling this recipe, give it a like. Follow for more delicious recipes. Also, if you make it, let me know how it turned out.
Okay. Boom, boom, boom. What the hell? We'll do this. Wait. Can I do this? Be sure. Alright. Little rosemary. Little garlic. Little chili powder. Tuna steak. Okay, so we're doing a seafood pasta. Cool. I I don't know what I would have done. I don't know if I would have kept the tuna whole, or carved it up into pieces like that. In the fires of Mordor, at the slopes of Mount Doom. Finally, he knows what a goddamn spoon is. Alright, I gotta give him the beer. God, I need music week. Labeling what I think is vodka sauce. Because I can't read Italian. Alright, that already looks good as fuck. Pasta water. Okay, gonna add some rosemary, I assume. Okay, nice little reduction. This is where you should grab your beer. Now the tweezers are out. Oh, he's fishing that shit out. There's the chili. There's the other sprig of rosemary. Finding the garlic. Now looks like we're doing something pickled. I don't know what the fuck those are. Olives of some sort.
Okay.
Yeah, I know Texas gets like super hot in the summer, but think about it, when it's winter, I'm freezing my fucking nuts off. And you can still grill. Okay, now the pasta's in with all that shit. Assumes a little bit of olive oil. Those are the biggest SpaghettiOs I've ever seen. Hey, I don't know what the hell that other shit was. I'd try it. I don't know half the ingredients, but I'd try it. All right, the best burger he's ever made, and it's not even close.
Dude, I'm not sure I'll ever be able to create a more perfect cheeseburger than this one. Oklahoma onion style smash burgers, gooey American cheese, and the star of the show. This bacon onion chili jam that makes each bite send whispers through your head that everything is gonna be okay. It truly deserves a spot on the Mount Rushmore of great food experiences, and I can't wait for you to try it for yourself. Now let's go! Start by dicing up one yellow onion, and something to note here is you can really change the size size of this dice depending on how you want the jam to be. I wanted mine to be sort of chunky and have quite a bit of texture, so I'm doing a pretty large dice on this yellow onion. Then we're gonna do the exact same thing with a red bell pepper. There's a lot of ways to cut up a bell pepper. Doing it this way is just one way to do it. There's another way where you top and tail it first. Either way is gonna work. At the end of the day, it's all coming into a jam anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And as for the chilies, I'm using Fresno chilies here. I just love the fruity flavor and the level of spice, and for these I'm going to dice them just a little bit smaller than the bell peppers and onions so they don't get too spicy. Now with the bacon here, I love to freeze the whole pack for about 20 minutes, and that just makes it really easy to slice it up. If you've ever tried to slice up bacon that's a little bit too tempered out of the fridge, it's definitely a pain in the ass.
Oh, trust me, yeah, I know.
So I highly recommend doing that little freezing trick first, then just dump it all.
I don't do the freezing trick. Maybe I'll start. But yeah, no, if I pull that pack of bacon out, I got knife in hand and I'm slicing as fast as I can, because once that fucking bacon heats up, oh my God, it's just fucking horrendous.
Into a cold pan and kick it on medium heat and just let all this bacon render down until it's cooking in its own fat. Once you see it's nice and golden brown and crispy, you want to dump off about 80 to 90% of that fat before continuing on. Then just add in your diced bell peppers, onions, and chilies and continue cooking down for another 8 to 10 minutes to really soften and intensify the flavor of those vegetables. I'm also adding the salt right now while continuing to cook this down. And we're also going to go in with a little bit of spices here. I'm just doing garlic powder, onion powder, and smoked paprika, as well as Calabrian chili paste, and some of that oil the Calabrian chilies were sitting in, as well as fresh ground black pepper. The Calabrian chilies here are absolutely amazing. If you don't have it or you can't find it, definitely just use more Fresnos in the recipe, but I will put a link to the one I used down in the description. Now 2 minutes after adding the Calabrian chili paste, I'm adding in apple cider vinegar, white sugar, maple syrup, and Worcestershire sauce. All you gotta do now is cook this down for about 15 to 20 minutes to really thicken it up and get it into that jammy, sticky, beautiful, saucy consistency. And one amazing thing about this recipe is that it's really hard to screw up. You can really change the spices you use, the flavors you use, the sugars you use, the chilies you use to spec it to your own liking, but the one I have listed down in the description is definitely a winner, and I would absolutely just try this recipe first if you've never made a jam like this for burgers before. Another thing to note here is if you want to keep cooking it down to make it as thick as possible, you can, but I love leaving this just a little bit juicy. You can see here as I run a spatula down the middle.
Actually, there are times where I hate the cold, but for me, it's driving when it's fucking snowing out. Oh my God, is that an exercise in just tedium?
The thickness that I have on mine, that gap closes after I pull through it, but it takes a little bit of time. This is the kind of consistency I'm going after for my burgers, but to each their own. If you want to make it a little...
yeah, I'd say towards March, I'm pretty much fucking done with the cold.
Little bit thicker, just reduce it a little more. Once it's done, just get it out into a vessel while we continue to work on the rest of our burgers. Now before moving on, let me introduce the sponsor of today's video, Wild Grain. And they are the first bake from frozen subscription that delivers sourdough breads, seasonal pastries, and French butter right to your door, all made by small independent bakeries. With ingredients...
That is the one nice thing about Minnesota. We don't have any natural disasters. Okay, occasionally we'll get tornadoes, but they're usually not that big. Every so often they will, because we're so far removed from the Gulf of Mexico that they're usually not a problem, and they're pretty rare here.
You can actually pronounce and uses a slow fermentation process, which makes it easier on your stomach and just overall better for you. You can also customize your box with...
Well, it takes a lane that usually runs at about 60 miles an hour and drags it down to maximum 40.
Classic, gluten-free, vegan, and even protein options. And truly the best part is that all their products go straight from your freezer to the oven and are ready in under 25 minutes, no thawing required. It honestly couldn't be easier, and I think that is one of the biggest pluses when you choose Wild Grain. Because I'm already cooking all day, and taking on extra baking products would just be too much. So just having some Wild Grain products in the freezer ready to go at a moment's notice is a huge selling point for me personally. And today's box had maple, Belgium waffles, ham and cheese croissants, regular croissants, garlic butter baguettes, plain sourdough bread, apple cider donuts, and salted French butter. And I went ahead and cooked up the garlic bread as well as the ham and cheese croissants right away. And let me tell you something, both were absolutely delicious. Wild Grain always just knocks it out of the park. Just click the link down.
Actually, that gets depressing to me more than it's the one. I still grill in the winter, but the problem is when it's the winter, it's pitch dark out at like 4 o'clock.
Down in the description and use code ThatDudeCanCook to get $30 off your first box, plus you'll get free croissants for life. Now back to the recipe. And for that, I'm gonna start by shaving some yellow onions on a mandolin super thin, because we're gonna be making sort of Oklahoma onion style burgers for this, because smashing these thinly sliced onions into your burger patties is never not the move. And once done, we can get to work on our patties. I have some homemade ground beef here, but you don't need that. Just use 80-20 ground beef. And I'm gonna be weighing out my little baby beefy balls to about 4 ounces per, because let's be honest here, the double smash burger is always the way to go. And prior to cooking, I just roll them in salt and pepper to really make sure I get it all the way around before getting them on.
I thought smash burgers were 3 ounces. I mean, you could do 4, but
to a hot greased carbon steel griddle. Then I add a little piece of parchment and I give them a little half press first before adding all my sliced onions on top, and then returning the parchment paper and then giving them the full press down. I'll then let them continue to cook for about 2.5 to 3 minutes before flipping them over. And you may have noticed I didn't smash them that flat, and I did that for a reason. I have found that when you smash a smash burger too much, it becomes like all crust and you sort of lose that juicy beefy tenderness that you know and love in a burger. So for me, aiming for a good balance between crust and just tenderness and juiciness in your burger always just makes a better eating experience in my eyes, but to each their own. Once flipped, I'm gonna get my buns toasting and then add my American cheese on top. It's gotta be American cheese, I suppose.
the only thing that sucks with the summer, because of my profession, I start like super early in the morning. Going to bed when the sun's still up gets to be a pain in the ass.
Could use another one, but American is just so good here. And once my cheese is pretty much fully melted, I'll go ahead and stack up my burgers, let it cook for another 30 seconds or so before going to build these bad boys. And all I'm doing is a little touch of mayo on my toasted brioche buns here, and then adding my double stack of beef patties before just smothering it in this juicy, sticky, beautiful bacon chili jam. Just watching the way this incredible red sticky jam just bleeds down into this beautiful yellow American cheese and onto that incredible burger is absolutely mouth-watering. And when it comes to all your favorite foods, the thing your mouth wants is a beautiful blend of fat and acid, and this burger has it in spades. But enough talking, let's get Marcus in here and give this thing a taste. Dear Lord, Marcus, I'll tell you what, as I was plating this up, I might feel my mouth is just like salivating. The American cheese.
Why is this guy's head reminding me of a bowling ball?
And the red jalapeno jam on there, and just like, I don't know, just looks so good. Cheers. Literally so f***ing good, dude. That's awesome.
Sweet, salty, tangy, bacony.
You know what this really reminds me of, the flavors, is the Shake Shack. What's the burger called with all those tiny little red peppers on it? It's like a better version of that.
I love bacon on burgers. Some people don't, which you're a psycho. I actually think we didn't overpress, and it's nice and juicy.
That's what I learned
Yeah, and when I first started with my company, we started at like 2 in the morning. So my late show was like, you know, Wheel of Fortune in the afternoon. And this was when Vanna White was not hot anymore.
Smash burgers, and I just said it in the video, it's like, if you just obliterate that thing, it's like, yeah, the crust looks awesome, but you're...
And look, part of me loved getting off at, 9, 10 in the morning, starting drinking at like, 10:30. But God, does it suck, like, going to bed at like, hey, we're going out to dinner. When you going? 7 o'clock. I'll be asleep.
Literally drying out the meat. Like, this is so juicy. And with the American cheese, a little bit of mayo is nice here too. So nicely seasoned. I mean, absolute banger, my friends. Definitely make it.
It's excellent. Looks like a crime scene on my hands.
Thanks for watching today, my friend, and definitely check out.
Okay. We'll do this. Health Riles Barbecue.
Popper chicken salad.
There's no healthy way to make goddamn chicken salad healthy. Did I mispronounce? Oh, it's Heath. Heath Riles.
The first thing I want to do, I've got 3 cups or a little over 3 cups of shredded chicken. Now you can buy rotisserie chicken, you can smoke your own, you can do whatever you want. This one here, we smoked and had some left over. So I'm going to start off with a 1/4 cup of sour cream. Let's make some dressing first. Let's go with a 1/4 cup of your favorite mayo. Let's go with 2 to 3 tablespoons of pickled jalapeno juice. We're gonna go with 2 tablespoons of ranch powder mix, whatever your favorite is, or make your own. We're gonna go with 1/2 block or 4 ounces of softened cream cheese. Now, let's get all this mixed up. Now, if you don't like cream cheese, you can substitute for Greek yogurt. It's completely up to you.
The only other advantage of Greek yogurt would be it's a hell of a lot easier to mix.
Now, I've also got 1 lime here.
Cream
I'm going to
cheese
include the
at
juice
times
out of 1
just
lime.
wants to be a fucking cunt. What the hell? Oh my god.
That little bit of acidity is going to help calm down some of the fresh jalapenos and stuff in here.
Shit.
Now, once we get all this nice and incorporated, and you'll probably have a few lumps in it, which is fine. You'll mend that out. I'm going to take some of our garlic jalapeno rub here, and I'm going to put about a tablespoon in there, and I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit in that chicken. Just a little bit.
Okay, there we're back.
Now to mix our other ingredients, we've got our chicken here. I've got 1/3 cup of diced red onion. I've got about 1/3 cup or either, no, I'm gonna say about 1/4 cup to 3 to 4 tablespoons of diced jalapeno that has been pickled. Okay, it's a really big jalapeno flavored dish. Then we've got 1 jalapeno that's been de-seeded and chopped raw. Now, if you really want this spicy, leave the seeds in it. Then I've got 1/3 cup of green onions, which is mostly the green part. I'm gonna wait and fold in that cheese. I've got 6 slices of thick cut bacon that's been cooked and diced, or crumbled anyway. Now, let's get this back here. Give this another mix and get all of it out of our bowl. All right, now that we've got all that out, let's start tossing it around. Ooh, that smells amazing. Now let's sprinkle in this 2/3 cup of cheddar cheese. This is freshly grated. That's why it's a little sticky. All right, let me grab me a fork, taste it, and see if we need to add any more salt or pepper. Let's try a bite. I think we need a little more. All right, let's get it in a good bowl, let it chill for a few minutes and let all those flavors marry together, and we're gonna put this on a cracker, dude.
Well, it's probably one hell of a dip. All right, new quesadilla method. This I've got to see. A quesadilla is essentially a Mexican grilled cheese.
When it comes
Okay, looks like a standard quesadilla.
to vegetables, we're doing a hodgepodge. So here's the idea. Poblano peppers, always find a way to step up your game when it comes to flavors. Get out of the comfort zone of using your traditional ideas, like bell peppers when it comes to fajitas. We have bell peppers as well. Then I'm gonna slice a jalapeno. So that's like a pepper trinity. We have Roma tomatoes, and then I thought, what about some heirloom tomatoes to open those up, grill those with a little bit of onion, cilantro, some jalapeno, and make like kind of like a smashed tomato little sauce to go on top of the quesadilla. Just trying something different. Hit these with just a little bit of spice out as well. It wasn't too long ago to where my mind was blown. If I've mentioned it once, I've mentioned it 1,000 times. I love Mexican food. The family got together to celebrate something on my brother-in-law's side, your brother, and went to a new Mexican restaurant. He moved, and it was like a new Mexican restaurant. Everybody's got their little favorite, like hole-in-the-wall style Mexican restaurant, or the place that they gather often. We are no different. Tried a new place and ended up getting something that I would never order, but the picture in the menu looked so dang good, I had to try it. It was like a queso cheesy steak fajita quesadilla. Typically on fajitas, I stay away from the cheeses. That's one thing that I can positively say I'm anti-cheese. And then I tried it, and then I'm like, holy crap, I've been missing this my whole life. So today is all about replicating very something similar, and I'm doing my twist on it, and I think we got a good one for you. Many moons ago on the Flat Top King, my other channel, we did a fajita steak marinade that you guys say is the best you've ever had, and I gotta be honest with you, I think it's one of the best that we've ever had, and we're doing it today. So if you guys want the recipe, it will be listed below. So let's get on to it. Pineapple juice. Remember, this is the stuff that's been cooked, boiled, or whatever it is, honey. Finished it, processed, and it takes that enzyme out so you can marinate overnight. Don't use fresh. This is 100% juice. The juice of half an orange, the zest of a whole lime, plus the juice. And everything goes in the pool. We got chili powder, cayenne pepper, salt and black pepper, cumin, soy sauce, brown sugar, onion powder, Worcestershire sauce, and paprika. Move that to the side. And let's talk about that beef. Mail call. We got it from North 36 Farms, and this is Latitude.
Oh my God.
Somebody's calling about North 36 Farms right now. And as a result, it seemed like you guys have blown them up about their burgers, and you guys replicated exactly what I said. Holy cow, their ground beef is fantastic. But there's one thing that kept getting mentioned, and they saw it, and they said, hey, why don't we introduce you guys a little bit more to something I mentioned the first time, the Latitude Club. So North 36 Farms has a cow share.
Jesus Christ, are we still on this?
Mix and match. You can go 6 months, 1 month, 6 weeks out, and let this marinade do its thing. It is the next day, and I cannot wait. All right, marinade. The big flank steak. I'm gonna kind of do it like this. I'm gonna dry it off a little bit just to get the moisture off. And to that, a light sprinkle of spice. That definitely different notes than what's marinated. And I don't want to go too much. This is a thin piece of meat. Ooh, that thing looks and smells good. And then I'm going to just place that sirloin just like this so it can start draining. And this right here is what I had in mind the whole entire time. So this is the queso cheese that you would cut up and add, just like the package instructions, and you have yourself some queso. But what if you don't add the milk? What if we just take this, grate it, and use this as our cheese inside the quesadilla? All right, a little oil goes down on the griddle. This is the commercial series from Charbroil. It's got the griddle insert. I've been absolutely loving it. But this out of here, I thought I'd keep there, and then we can grill that flank steak whole like that, so it gives you a couple options, especially in that box. Just a little bit of oil and tomatoes, and then we're going to grill those.
Okie dokie.
Come back in and season your vegetables, bring in those flavors, spice that, salt, pepper, garlic, jalapeno. Oh yeah, see that curl on the vessel? That's what I'm talking about right there. We're going to take those off. You know, I'm taking them off just like that. They got a nice crisp to them. Oh yeah, them tomatoes are nice and soft. That's what I'm talking about.
Might want to leave that burner
oil
run
down for that beef. You know what? We could probably add just a touch of oil. Does not take long at all. It took longer to prep the vegetables than it did to cook the meat and everything together. So, talking about quick weeknight dinners. And just right at the very end, I am going to take some white onion. This is the difference between yellow and your Vidalia. It's got a crispness to it. It's got a sharpness. I don't want to go too much, so maybe something like that. And we're going to dice this up, and this is going to go in that pico. That little smashed salsa. It's probably good right there. To help soften those onions up, since we're going to add lime anyways, let's go ahead and add half a lime. To that, some fresh chopped cilantro, kind of rough chop style. Just something different, you know, not everybody has a blender. You get to the same place, you'll have a little skin in there. I thought it would mash up a little bit more, but I think we're fine. Lazy man salsa. And just a few small pickled jalapenos, or you can use fresh. Smells different, right? I don't think the execution was perfect because the skins. I really thought the grilled tomato would soften the skin up a little bit more. I'm not worried about it. Really, really good. I like the chunkiness. And just like that, you have yourself some fantastic fajita meat. When I was tasting this, it reminds me of getting outside the box, right? You might see the term fajita steak and think in your mind only fajitas, which is why we did this today. However, pepper steak is a really good one. It's one that we made in the Navy. Like a stroganoff is really good. Anytime you can cut up your beef, first of all, it saves you time, but second of all, the options are endless. Did I just miss my whole mouth? That doesn't happen often. Super good, saves you time, and all of a sudden you got yourself a fantastic little dinner. As you can imagine, the grains are running this way. I'm gonna cut it about right here. Looks good to me. And then I'm gonna cut it in pieces that we can manage. And then we're going against the grain. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, babe.
Mmm. Oh dang, that is good.
It's almost like beef was made to touch flame and smoke. Let's get that tortilla down. Peppers, onions, tomato mix.
So at the end of the day, it's still just a grilled fucking cheese.
And just layer that tender steak all over top of it. I'm gonna go meat heavy. What do you think?
Yeah.
And this is for all the marbles. Ooh, about the size we got too. See if that cheese melted.
Well, great! You ruined everything.
What do you think? Good enough for government work?
Looks good.
You hear that shell? The cheese melting? Heavy little side of beans and rice? Guacamole, all that other shenanigans. But we're doing our fire roasted style chunky salsa. And in no time at all,
Dude, that salsa looks like shit. You really should have used a fucking blender.
all your quesadillas are done. Of course, you can do 100 different things with them, right? But this is just something that once I had it, I'm like, man, I'm missing out. Look at that. That's a bite right there. That cheese.
The cheese works good.
It tastes, well, it tastes just like it. I think better.
Boy, that.
All right. I'm gonna do this.
When it comes to a Juicy Lucy, what are you looking for?
God
You're
damn
looking
it.
for a
Really
melted
delicious
cheese.
son of a
Chicken breast
bitch.
on the grill here. I've just got a.
All right.
Welcome back to another game.
Okay.
It's not there. The best melting cheese is American cheese.
I'm happy with what I'm hearing.
Wait. You don't know my opinion yet. Before you get all cocky.
What would you rate this burger at?
What's the scale?
Give me the scale? 1 to 3, 1 to 10. Burgers today tend to have a lot of sauce on them.
Yeah.
But the beefy flavor profile is important. To me, it's if you're not tasting beef, you're not eating a hamburger.
Then what's the point? So if I were to do this again today, now getting your feedback, and by the way, which I agree with everything.
That's what's happening here. He's using us. He's using us. I knew it. Can you tell me who this famous chef is? Reveal, please. I gotta know.
The person who made this burger is a Michelin-rated chef numerous times over. George, this burger. Gordon, I know what you're trying to do. Kimchi, gochujang, Korean flavors. That's not where you lost me. My issue wasn't the Korean inspiration. It was the burger itself. Let's be real. If one of your cooks
What the fuck is that?
sent that burger out in one of your restaurants,
The cheese isn't even melted properly. Okay. And honestly, I don't think the burger's cooked properly. Jesus Christ, Gordon is a fucking master chef, but goddamn, he can fuck up some simple shit. The burger looks almost raw in the center. The cheese isn't even melting. When you cut a Juicy Lucy, that cheese is basically supposed to spill out like molten lava.
you would go nuclear. And honestly, I don't think this burger should have been a Juicy Lucy in the first place. Not because Juicy Lucy's are bad, they're fantastic. I just don't think stuffing cheese inside automatically makes a burger better, especially when
No, I rarely do Juicy Lucy's.
everything else you're doing was already interesting enough to stand out on its own. But I've learned something over the years. It's easy to criticize a recipe you've never actually cooked. It's a lot harder after you've made it yourself. So today, I'm making the burger exactly as you intended. No chef improvements, no second guessing, just your burger.
Dude, your
Because
your
if I'm
Juicy Lucy was incomplete.
gonna disagree with you, the least I can do is understand where you're coming from. Maybe I'll change my mind, maybe I won't. There's only one way to find out. I'm giving Gordon's Burger every chance to prove me wrong. Now comes
Dude, that burger looks fucking emaciated. That burger looks horrible.
the interesting part, because my opinion isn't the one I care about most. There's someone else I want to hear from, and he has absolutely no idea whose burger he's about to eat.
Wait, there's a lot going on
Yes.
here.
Whoa. All right.
Okay.
One here and one there. George.
Yes.
Pretty thick.
This is a very special burger. I'm not going to tell you whose recipe this is.
Okay.
But this is a one-for-one recreation of a Korean Juicy Lucy burger.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I know whose this is. Oh.
Whose is it?
And this burger inspired me to make my own Korean burger.
Oh, this is not your burger.
This is not my burger.
This is the inspiration.
This is the
I gotcha.
inspiration
Okay.
by a very well-known chef, recreation,
Okay.
that I wanted you to try.
Is it Daniel Boulud?
No.
Oh, I'll tell you after. I will tell you after you've had a bite.
Okay.
All right, everybody.
Here we go. Okay, so
Help yourself.
You guys first.
Help yourself. The temp of the burger, everything is exactly as how he put it out.
cheese on the inside? Is that cauliflower?
Yeah.
Cheese.
Did you say cauliflower?
Well, it's got like some funny, like weird little like tree things going on there.
Yeah.
The cheese didn't
So,
totally
all right,
melt.
can you please tell the audience in your mind, because you're the burger scholar, baby.
Yes.
When it comes to a Juicy Lucy, what are you looking for?
You're looking for melted cheese, which is not there. so for starters, not warm cheese, melted cheese.
Okay.
I'll tell you why. It's because the original Juicy Lucy, which was made at Matt's Bar in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Don't tell that to the folks of St. Paul. They believe it's the 5-8 Club.
right? In the 1950s, was invented by a very entrepreneurial bartender slash, bar back cook. And the idea was some guy walked in and said, "Give me something special." That's the way they always start, right? Give me something special. And the special thing this guy made was to take two of their patties and put a piece of cheese between the two and pinch it together. He put it on the flat top, turned it, and what happened was the guy took a bite and it exploded in his face because there was so much pressure in there, and all this hot molten cheese went all over his face, and he said, "Whoa, that's one Juicy Lucy."
I did not know that.
That's the story. That's how it happened.
All right.
Well, that's how it happened, right? But the thing is, it was definitely melted cheese.
Okay. All right.
Take a bite.
All right. Cheers, everybody. Cheers.
Yeah, trust me. If you ever go to Matt's bar, if you're ever in Minneapolis and you go to Matt's, wait at least 5 minutes, or you will be spending the rest of your vacation in my wonderful state in the hospital with skin grafts for your tongue.
Look, it's funky.
Okay.
Got some funk to it.
If Sean can come here, I mean, cheese is not melted and it's coming out like a puck, like a little cheese puck. Listen, the sauce is made with gochujang, a little bit of fish sauce, soy sauce.
There's that.
There's definitely Asian vibes. There's definitely Korean vibes. The meat quality is good,
That was great.
But it defeats expectations. That's the problem.
So, you can tell me who this famous chef is?
Well, before we get there, what would you rate this burger at?
I mean,
what's the scale?
Give me the scale. 1 to 3, 1 to 10.
1 to 10. 1 out of 10.
I mean, to me, I'm not a big fan.
I'm not a 3 or 4.
3 or 4 out of 10.
Out of 10.
Yeah, I'm with Chef over here.
Okay.
I'm in a 3 or 4, only because it's too much.
Yeah.
And there's some method gone wrong here where the cheese didn't melt.
Right. And what
method gone wrong.
and okay. What cheese would you have used if you were to make a Juicy Lucy?
What kind of cheese is that? Is the question. Is it American?
Mozzarella.
Yeah, mozzarella. No, because mozzarella doesn't melt the right way.
Right.
Because all it wants to do is stay together.
Yeah.
And we apply a lot of heat to mozzarella. At some point, it just explodes and goes all over the place. The best melting cheese is American cheese.
There you go.
It's engineered to melt. It's designed to melt.
Well, Paul has a great description for American cheese.
American cheese is the best burger cheese on the planet, bar none. It's horrible for you, and I do use other cheeses, but if like the champion of the burger I'm making is like a sauce or something else, and the cheese isn't integral, fuck it.
I think you're spot on.
I think
it's a cheese sauce.
It's a cheese sauce.
It's like a solidified cheese sauce.
Yeah.
If it wasn't a Juicy Lucy, if I think if the patty was half the size, I think if you used a different cheese, it would be okay. Right.
It was a little too thick though, because you want to be able to get it in your mouth. That's the most important thing. Not everyone has a mouth as big as you or I. And you want to make sure that, so burger architecture is very important, that it stays together and fits in your mouth. Period. Those are two things that have to be, just in terms of shape and size, when you're eating it. The taste is obviously important too, but really it's about the staying together, keeping together, and fitting in your mouth. Yeah.
With that said.
But you see, but Ozersky had a famous line, you should be able to hold it in one hand.
No.
Because if you hold it in one hand, that means all the measurements are perfectly right to be able to fit in your mouth.
Right. Which you know who does it?
Right.
You know who does a burger like that? Hamburger America. go visit Hamburger America.
Put one in each hand.
All right.
Reveal, please. I gotta know.
I'm not going to reveal it. One more thing.
We're going to cut to a commercial, and then we're going to come back.
Gochujang a la raj. So, I just one more thing. The person who made this burger is a Michelin-rated chef. Numerous times over.
And he's not worried about being defined by this burger.
No, he could not care. But he has burger restaurants, and I, too, like you, am surprised by the size and the composition.
Did that motherfucker just dip his french fries in mayonnaise? Please tell me that was ranch and not mayonnaise.
I was just very shocked that he would allow this burger to have his name behind it, let alone doing a YouTube video showing the world this Juicy Lucy. George, this burger.
Gordon Ramsay. I knew it. Yeah, it is, right? Yeah, I knew it. The wind-up was only Gordon Ramsay. Gordon, he's a good guy.
This burger.
Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, that burger just looks wrong. How does Gordon's burger somehow look worse?
I know, right? Yeah, I know. The wind-up was only Gordon Ramsay. Gordon, he's a good guy. I like Gordon a lot.
No, he's great.
He's awesome.
But I've also made fun of his burgers to his face, so it's okay.
Yeah, listen.
So, I mean, I have on a show. On the show. It's fine. Sorry, Gordon. Sorry.
Super talented, super kind gentleman. Take away those.
Super kind.
Yeah,
Super tall,
super
too,
kind.
super tall.
But this
Yeah.
burger, zero. Zero plus zero.
I think it's that bad. It was more of our. I think the actual execution. Mozzarella's a little bizarre, for the cheese choice. But
I already forgot your line. The method was.
What did I say? Roll the tape back. There's some method gone wrong here where the cheese didn't melt. Right. So, and honestly, carrots?
No.
Carrots would never.
Yes. Okay. Good. This is supposed to be a. Oh, okay.
It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be banh mi. Banh mi would be great. It's kind of like a banh mi situation going on here.
For a Korean slaw, which this is supposed to be, it should just be kimchi. Right? It should just make it kimchi. Where's the carrot?
Yeah. Are we fans of Noan? You like Noan?
Oh, Noan's burger is great. Chef Jay. Shout out Chef Jay. He's been on the podcast.
Yeah.
All right, you can take this with you, please.
Take this with you.
Take this with
Thank you, Gordon.
Every ingredient on a burger has to earn its place, and that starts with the beef. At home, I make what I call frozen smash patties. I know, frozen burgers doesn't exactly scream professional chef. Stay with me.
I don't give a what Gordon Ramsay says about cooking frozen burgers. This is delicious. Frozen.
Well, as long as you make them yourself, yeah, it's fine. And actually, occasionally I'll make 2-ounce patties, and you have to freeze them or they fall apart.
Burgers on the grill. Cooking your burgers from frozen is the best way to keep them full of juicy goodness.
And I've only done it once. If I add like blue cheese or something in the burger.
These patties cook incredibly fast. They also happen to give me my favorite cheese to meat ratio. And because they hit the grill frozen, I have enough time to build a beautiful crust before the center overcooks. They end up ridiculously juicy. Between my restaurant, Mission Sandwich Social, YouTube, my band Lost Becomes, and trying to be a good dad, life gets busy. So I keep a few meals ready to go that I know are quick, easy, and genuinely delicious. My kids love burgers. That's reason enough for me. I start with 80-20 ground beef from my local supermarket. Nothing fancy. I portion them into 3-ounce balls and handle the meat as little as possible. Just enough to hold together. I've always preferred the texture that gives the finished burger. Then I smash them between 2 sheets of wax paper until they're just under a centimeter thick. Yeah, it looks ridiculous. Trust the process. Into the freezer they go until they're firm enough to peel off the wax paper. Now, if you buy the good wax paper, you can skip this step. Unfortunately, I bought the cheap stuff, and I'm way too cheap to throw it away. So, I'm using every last sheet before I buy the good stuff.
So, who's actually cheaper at the end of the day, Jews or Asians?
Now that the burgers are ready, let's build the flavors around them. We start with kimchi, one of the pillars of Korean cuisine. I drain the liquid, but don't throw it away. You'll see why in a minute. Then
Make
some
a barbecue
serrano
sauce.
peppers. I like my slaw to have a little extra kick. If you're worried about the spice, skip the peppers. Know that kimchi isn't nearly as spicy as most people think. Once everything comes together, it mellows out beautifully. Kewpie mayo is a must. The extra richness and tang work perfectly here. A squeeze.
One of these days I gotta try that fucking shit. Alright, I have to piss. I will be right back.
The fresh lemon juice, kosher salt, scallions, Korean chili flakes, and yes, I use a lot of mayo. Personal preference. Some people don't.
Well, I personally like quarter-pound patties. That's just me, though. I'm not a big fan of like half pound. About as big as I go is third pound.
Don't like mayo? I judge those people silently. Now for the sauce. This has become my go-to Korean-inspired burger sauce. Gochujang, barbecue sauce, ketchup, oyster sauce, sesame oil. Stuff I pretty much always have in my fridge. And if you don't, they're worth picking up because they last forever. This sauce is thick, really thick. So remember that.
Maybe I'll have to try that next time I do barbecue sauce. I'll use some of it to Jesus Christ, if I could think, to make that barbecue sauce or the
That
sauce
kimchi juice we saved, that's what loosens everything up. Adds acidity, adds flavor. And since we're talking about acidity, a couple dabs of my hot sauce, gochujang à l'orange. Now it's time to grill. Charcoal. Always. These patties only get seasoned on one side because they're so thin. Seasoning both sides makes them too salty for my taste. Now it's time to build. Martin's potato rolls. Lightly toasted. The sauce goes down first.
Yeah, and if you wanna feel like you've been royally fucked, try ordering Martin's potato rolls anywhere outside of their generally sold in stores. You are gonna pay. Literally, it's cheaper getting 6 Ukrainian prostitutes.
Then the kimchi slaw, fresh cucumber. One of my favorite things about Korean food is the balance between rich flavors and fresh, crisp vegetables. Then the patties, American cheese.
Okay, I know, fresh cucumber, you should have had some pickles on there, even quick pickled.
Yes,
Cubes.
American. Use whatever cheese makes you happy, but on my burger, American earned its place. Fight me. A little more sauce, a little more slaw, some bacon, and that's my Korean burger. No gimmick.
That looks awesome. That looks delicious. The only L I give it is these cucumbers should have been pickled.
No molten cheese surprise, just a burger where every ingredient earned its place. Now, let's see if the burger did too.
Dude, that's like a gochujang baconator.
This is Gordon Ramsay's next burger?
No, this is my burger.
Yay!
This is what I would.
Okay,
if,
come on.
If you were to tell me to make a Korean burger, this is what I would give you, and this is what I would serve Gordon.
Oh,
and
good.
Say,
Okay, good for you.
This is what I think.
But look.
Oh yeah, Ozerski was right. It's one-handed situation.
Before I tell you what's in it, how about I just have you guys take a bite?
Let's just do that, yeah.
All right.
Looks great.
Thank you. I'm happy with what I'm hearing.
Good burger.
Okay.
Wait. Let me. You don't know my opinion yet. No, it's good.
Very good.
So this is my Korean burger. Number one, there's a kimchi slaw.
Oh yeah.
And the foundation of this slaw, it's mayo heavy, so it's kind of like a saucy slaw, but it's number one to be a big source of moisture, but a lot of acidity, right? And give you that kimchi forward flavor.
I'll tell you one thing. This is a burger that can't sit on the pass for too long.
No, this has to go out.
This needs to go out.
I don't like Juicy Lucy's personally, so I decided to go with 2 3-ounce patties with a slice of them.
Believe it or not, that's my favorite way. I do Juicy Lucy's every so often, but it's not my favorite burger.
American cheese because I love the ratio of cheese to meat when you go with the smaller patty and cheese in between.
Listen, quality ingredients that belong, right? Like they're not a mystery, right? I think that's a solid burger.
Yeah, a solid burger.
Thank you very much.
Too much sauce, though.
Too much sauce. All right, fair.
And I don't, well, flavor profile, Both those sauces, I taste them both in there, which is great. But there's so much as I have another architecture issue going on where things are sliding out the back. Little back slider.
Okay. Fair.
But it's good.
Do you think that this burger, this recipe stays true to the American classic?
Well, I think definitely leans more towards American, but don't forget, Korea has a huge American influence due to the GI presence.
Absolutely,
you know, my mom I grew
Spam,
up
barbecue,
I grew up
fried
eating
chicken,
spam, American.
What, did your mom sucky love you long time, American soldiers?
In craft singles.
You're right.
I'm getting in trouble for that joke.
I mean, those are all things I grew up with. A lot of ketchup in my life.
If I've made a Juicy Lucy, it's been so long. I don't fucking remember, to be brutally honest. Let me check real quick here. Okay, I don't know what happened to it, but I just have a short from 2024. Whatever. I don't know. At one point, I'll get to one.
And those are all things that made it into this burger, and I still feel it gives you a little bit of that Korean vibe still.
So. No, it's great. It's a very well-rounded burger.
You give me that Korean vibe.
I accomplished my goal. George likes my burger.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, too much sauce.
But we didn't give it a number.
Oh, shit. You're right.
This burger is closer to... So there's some of the detractors that, again, it's based on failure of method. There's some method gone wrong here where the cheese didn't melt. Right. So,
we need those T-shirts.
The bun wasn't toasted well.
Okay.
It's a little odd there. It's a weird, like, is it really a Martin potato roll?
Mm-hmm.
Feels very dense. It was probably just wasn't toasted.
I think the weight of it.
I think the weight of it. I think the weight of it, and
the
also
weight of the sauce.
Right. You know, George said something about there being too much sauce.
Yeah.
I think that had a big part to play of why.
Honestly, you should have done something to protect the bottom bun. So both buns didn't go soggy. I probably would have either added a barrier of lettuce or actually blowtorch melted a piece of cheese on it.
It's kind of squishy now.
I mean, burgers today, like burgers that are coming out today and being invented and presented, tend to...
there's usually I just put like lettuce on the bottom bun. I very rarely will put sauce or condiments on both the bottom and the top bun. To me, all the condiments should go on top the top bun or on top of the burger.
A lot of sauce on it.
Yeah.
You go back in the history of the hamburger, when sauces started to come around, like probably the 1920s and 30s, especially for places like Bob's Big Boy. They used to put a red relish on there. Like it was like a red relish basically. And it was just a swipe, just enough to kind of lubricate the whole thing, but not make it like an unruly disaster. I like to be able to have a. Yeah.
Okay. Hey.
So when the fuck did people start putting like things like ketchup and mustard and mayo and bacon and cheese and all that shit on their burgers?
I'm with
because you know I have my favorites.
Ladies and gentlemen, getting a 7-8 on a burger grade from the famously famous Le Chef Paul DeDaniel is nothing to scoff at. This is a multi-time Burger Bash winner. I will gladly take a 7-8 from Paul. Thank you. Merci.
I'm going to give it a 7 also.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. I passed. So if I were to do this again today, now getting your...
You're right. You got a C. You got just by.
Feedback. And by the way, which I agree with everything.
That's what's happening here. He's using us. He's using us. I knew it.
A little bit. Burger Bash next year. Better fucking watch out. But yes, it is too saucy. And actually, I think I would get rid of one patty.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't think it actually
needs.
You do not need the two patties.
But I tell you though, just be careful though, because the beefy flavor profile is important. And you definitely taste the beef.
Right.
Beef is, to me, it's if you're not tasting beef, you're not eating a hamburger.
Then what's the point?
Yeah, what's the point? Exactly. Gotcha.
You guys saw my plans. See you at the next burger bash, everybody. But
Who the fuck is that douchebag? Oh, KYP Malone.
don't forget, we got dessert coming.
Dessert. I love dessert. Is it a burger?
Before we close out this episode,
Jesus Christ. All right. We'll do... fuck it. Tater Tots Tricked America.
This might be the perfect bite of food. An outer shell that shatters like glass. A center core that pulls together both smashed and mashed potato. Golden, greasy, aggressively seasoned. Kids hoard them. Adults shamefully order them at bars whenever they're available. And
Yeah, but usually we've had a few and we're not driving.
3 Michelin star chef even put them on his tasting menu. Each and every one of these crispy flavor cylinders exists because about 70 years ago, a farmer in Oregon looked at a trough of cattle feed and thought to himself, yeah, we should eat that. So how did the humble tater tot come to dominate the American side dish scene? Before we make these things, let's drop a little context. It's the early 1950s and home freezers are spreading across the USA. And in post-World War II America, frozen food is the new gold rush, right? Everybody's making money. Just see my
By the way, why were fridges so much better in the fucking 60s than they are now?
This video about Salisbury steak if you don't believe me. And 2 farmer brothers on the Oregon-Idaho border, Neffy and Golden Grig, want in. Which, pause, let that soak in for a second. Neffy and Golden. They just don't make them like they used to, man. Popular names now, you know, we got Braden, we got Tracer, we got Leaf, we got Jaspin. Nah.
Who the hell names their kid Tracer? You're setting his life up to be a fucking tracker.
Respectfully, I'm on team Neffy and Golden. Bring them back. Neffy Wit. Golden Wit. Golden Wit? I like it. So they do something only 2 insane country boys would do. They mortgage both of their farms and buy a bankrupt flash freezing plant for $500,000. And in today's money, that's just over 6 million bones. So yeah, these guys had the cojones. So now they have a plant, they just need a name for their business. So they name it after the state line that it sits on, and this one blew my mind and kind of changed my worldview, okay? Oregon, Idaho. Ori-Ida. Yes, that is correct. That's what Ori-Ida stands for. Oregon, Idaho.
It's Ori-Ida. The E is silent.
Idaho. It's not the name of some auntie who had an incredible, like, secret potato recipe or anything like that, right? Now, the real money in the area is in frozen French fries, but there's a teensy little problem there. A fellow Idahoan with another baller name named J.R. Simplot, J.R. Simplot. The names were out of control back then. J.R. Simplot, he already owns that game, and he'll actually go on to supply McDonald's with frozen fries. So yeah, Ori-Ida is basically left fighting for scraps, literally. Because here's the dirty little secret that nobody tells you about fry production. The cutters leave behind mountains of potato slivers that are basically too small to sell. But they don't go to waste. No. They get sold off for pennies as cattle feed. And that drove Neff Grig crazy. And of course it did, because Neffy was a Great Depression kid, right? He was one of 13 children, so waste was a sin. So on one fateful day, a salesman wanders into their plant and demonstrates a prune sorting machine. Prunes, not potatoes. However, the Griggs, being the crafty little buggers they are, rig it up to separate the fries from the slivers, which worked great and made everything basically more efficient. So now the scrap pile is bigger and better organized than ever before. Then Neffy got the idea that would change the course of American culinary history forever. He takes the scrap, chops it up, mixes it in with flour and seasoning, then pushes the mash through a piece of plywood with holes drilled in it. Slice, fry, freeze, boom. A tot is born. And by the way, that plywood board still sits behind glass at the Ori-Ida headquarters, where a typo on the label actually turned it into the holy board, you know, without the E, so it's the holy board, which honestly is pretty accurate. So now the Griggs had a product made of trash. They just needed America to eat it, right? They needed America, they needed us to eat their garbage.
Trash. Yeah, I love trash. Yum, yum, trash.
Oh yeah, I love that little guy.
But no, for real, we need to pause here for a second because, you know, you've heard me call myself a garbage person before on the channel many, many, many times. This is why the tot is so perfect and resonates with me so strongly here. It's the intersection of nostalgia, mouth pleasure, and culinary ingenuity.
You know, as a man, unless you're gay, I don't know if I'd be saying the word mouth pleasure. But maybe that's just because I'm a sick fuck.
But not without a little dose of gluttony. And I know that some of you guys feel me on this, right? Garbage, recognize garbage. Let's go. Team G-Baj. Oscar the Grouch, what's good? And tater tots really weren't a far cry from the other food that would hit shelves in the years to come after, you know, the World War II around the 1950s, but I digress. And the story of how the tater tot took over American households involves a glamorous hotel, a smuggled sack of potatoes, and a bribe. Okay. The legend goes as follows. It's the mid-1950s at the Fontainebleau in Miami Beach. This castle is brand new, right? It's dripping in chandeliers, and it's really the type of place that you might like bump into Frank Sinatra walking along the poolside. That's Frank Sinatra walking along the poolside right there. That's what he looked like, exactly. The National Potato Convention is in town, and many of its potato barons are staying at...
Wait. National Potato Convention? That was a thing? Also, this can't be the 1950s. Where are the 500 million cigarettes?
Said hotel. Nephi Grigg knows this, so what does he do? He crosses the country with 15 pounds of tater tots stashed in his luggage. He gets to the hotel, slips the head chef some cash to fry them up and sneak them onto breakfast plates for the hotel's guests. And in Nephi's own words, quote, "They were gobbled up faster than a dead cat could wag its tail." Pause. God damn. This era of America was insane. Like what does that even mean? If you know what that means, let me know in the comments. Now, that's all an incredible story, of course, but there's one issue. The only source for this bribe, the bag of potatoes, and the dead...
Well, yeah, because your average woman was at least in shape so that she looked pleasant in a bikini. Now we have Tess Holliday in bikini. Something that would turn any straight man gay in a second.
Cat is Nephi himself. And this is all after he finally wrote the story down 35 years later. And you know, this guy, his name's Nephi, right? He sounds like a character. He invented the tater tot. He's likely the tater tot's greatest salesman if he had the gall to do what I just told you, you know? I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm just saying that, you know, Nephi might be telling the story in the same way that a local fisherman might embellish, you know, the 19-foot swordfish that he caught in Lake Michigan back in 1989, right? You kind of smile, nod.
That would be the old man in the sea.
And agree with him just to, like, you know, end the conversation, get the hell out of there. Here's what we do know. Tots hit stores in the mid-1950s. Some say exactly in 1956. And they flopped hard. Shoppers saw this scrap food at a low scrap food price and figured it was beneath them. So Ore-Ida made the most gutsy, counterintuitive move in frozen food history. They raised the price, and believe it or not, sales exploded. By 1960, Ore-Ida owned a quarter of the entire frozen potato market. And not because the product changed at all, the marketing did. From there, the tot went full empire mode. Ore-Ida trademarked the name in 1958, which is exactly why you see competitors, you know, stuck selling the same Spud Puppies, Tasty Tots.
Yep, because Ore-Ida owns the tater tot trademark.
or my personal favorite, Trader Joe's legally distinct Trader Potato Tots. TM. Then in 1965, Heinz swooped in and bought the whole company for 30 million bones. And the Farmer Brothers strutted into the sunset with Benjis spilling out of their overalls. And once Heinz got their hands on the tater tot, it was GG. School cafeterias made them into a food group of their own. Minnesota baked them into a hot dish and made it a Midwestern delicacy.
Yeah, we did.
Sonic turned it into a drive-thru.
But I think it's because at some point during the winter, we all just start drinking a little bit more. And, well, this is good.
Item. And of course, for all my chopped, cooked, and beat unks and aunties out there, in 2004, Napoleon Dynamite stuffed tater tots into his pocket and made them an international movie star. Then in the late 2000s and the early 2010s, with the, we've talked about this with the Two Guys and a Crazy Idea gastropub explosion, they became tachos, right? Or fully loaded nachos, but with tots. You get it. And that 3 Michelin star restaurant.
Those are loaded tater tots. They've been around for fucking years.
Restaurant that I mentioned earlier, duck fat tots. With other garnishing additions in the set, of course, but yeah, still, tots on a tasting menu. Insane. To bring it all home, today, Americans eat something like 70 million pounds of tater tots per year. I don't know what that is per person. We're gonna put that number right here. Whoa.
No, impressed.
All of that from a pile of scrap that two brothers refused to throw away. Iconic. Now, Neffy had a motto, right? Bite off more than you can chew, then chew it. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Is that a direct quote? I have no idea. Nobody can really trust this guy. I don't know. He seems fun though. Let's cook some tots. Okay, so I do this thing. Someone asks me something, I say yes, and then 10 seconds later I realize I meant no. Then I go on for the next 2 weeks to resent the thing that I myself signed up for. And that's exactly one of the many things that therapy is great at pulling apart. Like,
oh, God, another fucking ad. Jesus fucking Christ.
chunks. Something like this, it does
You know what? I don't blame them. YouTube ad rates are dick.
Not have to be perfect, as long as they're all kind of similar in size. We want them to cook at the same rate. Just gonna move them around a little bit, work some of that starch off just from the surface, and we can strain them off. Okay. It's literally tornadoing outside, so hopefully we don't lose power mid-shoot, especially with the frying oil on. Okay, it's calmed down, which is hilarious because it's still ripping out there. Damn, I almost got gusted. All right.
Now MGM will want at least one of your testicles.
Where were we? Okay. All right, so we have our nice taters here. These have been sitting and draining. They're all cut in roughly the same size. Now we just gotta fry them. Now this is a 2 frying process here, right? The first fry is to kind of cook and soften the potato. We're not going for color. Then we're gonna, do some things to them, and then we're gonna second fry them when they're tatatized, if you will, to give them that crispy, crunchy exterior. So for now, fry 1. The oil's sitting at 350 Fahrenheit. All right, we're gonna lower in our tatars. I'm gonna cook these in 2 batches. This should take about 6 to 8 minutes-ish for these potatoes to kind of cook and get soft. So this is more or less what we're going for here. You can see they're like kind of a tinge of golden brown, but not quite. So check this out. They're like, they're not quite perfectly golden brown yet or whatever, but they're cooked and they're hot still. See what I mean? Like, they're cooked. They're ready to go. But we're not done yet. Okay, we got our first fry, our pre-fried chunks now. We have to tatatize our potatoes here. How we're gonna do that? We're gonna use a trusty food processor here, okay? But there's a couple of things that you can do to kind of screw this up, so let's make sure that doesn't happen. So into our food processor with a regular good old blade attachment, I'm gonna add maybe about 1/8 of our potato chunks. Not that much, right? And you gotta be patient here. If we puree this too much, you're gonna turn this into basically fried mashed potatoes. And if you recall, the inside of a tater tot is not just like a fried pillow, right? There's texture to it too. And that comes from using potato scraps. Remember, there's kind of internal texture. So how we're gonna achieve that is pulsing using our food processor to ensure that, things don't go too smooth, but they're also not too chunky. So check it out. All right, so we're gonna go 1, 2, 3.
3.
Maybe 4, maybe 5, maybe 6. Maybe 7 and 8. Okay, yeah, that's good. 8. 7 might have been perfect, but good thing we have literally 7 more batches of this to do. All right, so check this out here. You can see there's texture in this, right? The oil helps to separate the potato from one another and kind of gives us that classic sort of like lumpy tater tot internal texture, if you will, right? You should be able to see that separation in there, right? It's literally just kind of manufacturing our own like French fries that are ground up. Now from here, you can do a lot of different things. You can add stuff to this mixture and kind of infuse your tots with different flavorings. You know, a couple of examples that I think Kenji gave, there's like a pepperoni pizza one you can do. I'm thinking, you know, off the top of the dome, we got like ham and cheese. You could do like a Mexican one with some chorizo. You can do like a crispy sort of like lemon vibe, like a Mediterranean like herby lemon situation. You can do whatever you want. What we're gonna do today is to ensure that these are seasoned properly with good old salt, pepper, and other things too. Because I'm keeping these classic. I don't want to get lost in the sauce here and make like 30 different kinds. We're making the original tater tot. We're throwing respect on its name. So what does that mean? We got to add in a couple of things before we get shaping. To our wonderful tater mash, I'm going to add potato starch. This can also be cornstarch, but I figured, you know, potato starch. A little bit of sugar here. You're not going to really taste this. It's just going to kind of make you that much more addicted to these things. We're playing with dopamine receptors here, people.
Yes, science!
Then, of course, some good old kosher salt. I guess the one additional flavor we will add in is just a couple cracks of BP. Now, we spent all this time and energy to achieve this great, perfect texture here, too. And if you work these ingredients into the potato too harshly, you're gonna get mashed potatoes. So it's important that we're gentle here. I like to treat this like, you know, something we just whipped air into by folding rather than stirring. Work them seasonings into them taters, work that starch into them taters. It's gonna help things go sticky, it's gonna help things go crispier. The starch is nice. The sugar will help with browning and flavor, and the salt is gonna make sure everything tastes good. Yeah, perfect. All right, still got our separation we love. If you take a little bit, you should be able to form it into a shape like this. And don't be afraid to take a little bit, taste it. How's the seasoning? It's good. Okay, we can start shaping. Let's shape, brother. So we ain't got a holy board on deck, right? We're gonna use our skin mittens. Oh, do I look at that dude from, do I look like that guy from Pan's Labyrinth? Kenji calls this the nigiri technique, and I love the name because it's very funny because...
You know, I've never seen that movie.
It's kind of like you're making a little piece of sushi or a little nigiri. So I'm just gonna take my fingies here, kind of work it around, and form a tot shape, right? If you really want to be a hero, you can whip your scale out and try to do these exactly, you know, perfectly by weight, but I'm not gonna do that. This is kind of a mondo tot, but you get the idea. You're just gonna shape these by hand, kind of curling your fingers around and using your other hand to kind of make that flat, you know, classic tot shape. Don't be too much of a perfectionist here. You're gonna make probably, you know, at least a couple dozen of these, so don't get lost in the sauce with every one. The more you work it, the more mashy it gets, and that's no bueno, right? We want these to have a little bit of craggly texture to them, so keep that in mind as well. Call it the Spider-Man technique, actually. I like that more.
Speak of the devil!
Because I'm really gonna use 2 fingers here, else they're gonna be way too big.
Phrasing?
And boom. Look at that little Totski. He's a cute little guy, ain't he? Okay, so we got all of our tots shaped up. They're looking good. They're ready for their second fry where we fully crispitize them. But before we do so, I want to make you know, a seasoning for our tots to go on the outside, and it's best to do this fresh out the fry so some of that oil is still on our tots, and when you toss them, or when you dust them rather, the seasoning sticks better. So I'm calling this tot dust. All right, so into a little container, we're gonna start with our kosher salt, right? That's gonna be the workhorse, the real flavor maker. Then,
so basically he's making a seasoned salt.
A little bit of white shugs. Again, for that dopamine tickling situation. Well, ideally this all tickles the dopamine, but yeah. A little pinch of the GP, maybe 2 little pinches, maybe 2 medium pinches. This is a cool ingredient here. This is vinegar powder, okay? It's strong. It kind of smells like salt and vinegar chips. Matter of fact, that's why I bought this a while back, I think, to make like salt and vinegar fries. It's just like dehydrated vinegar, really nice. It's gonna add this kind of like mouth puckering, back of the kind of jawline mystery element to our tots, right? A little tardiness. We got the sweet, we got the salt, we got the umami. Now we have the sour. This is gonna pack a punch. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of that. Start with that, nothing too big. And this is cool too. Just a little bit of potato starch here, which is gonna stop all this from caking as it sits, because I'm probably not gonna use all this. Definitely not gonna use all that. Just kind of mix that around. Nice. Ta-da! Okay, so once again, we're at Tree Fitty here, 350 degrees Fahrenheit. I am just going to carefully place some of our tots onto a spider, right, this guy here, and lower them in to our oil. So it's important when you're doing this to load up your spider or something similar with a few tots. I like to do this in smaller batches, honestly. Maybe like, I don't know, like divide it into like, you know, fifths or sixths maybe. And when you lower your tots in for the first time, make sure not to touch them for the first minute or so, right? That's gonna set the potato so that when you stir it, they don't break apart on you, right? We want intact tots. Yeah, after that minute, you can move them around with your spider or a spoon, but until then, you're in the danger zone. So let them cook, let them chill, then move them around. All right, this is the perfect time to hit them with the tea dust. We're all fried off here. I also made some classic Ore-itas just to kind of get a little side-by-side comparison to show you here.
God damn, it's Ore-ita!
They look a little different. Similar but different. They could be brothers, cousins.
No, yours actually looks better for things like cheese, bacon, and like a state fair type of tot. These just look like dinner.
Sister brothers. Yeah. So on the surface, the Ore-itas are a lot lighter, right? Could I have fried these a little longer? Maybe, but they are one shade of golden brown. They're pretty perfect. My guess is a lot of money and time went into kind of like perfecting this sort of industrial tot, if you will. But they're looking nice. Ours, on the other hand, again, uniform in color, definitely a little darker in color, right? And we have that seasoning on them so you can kind of see that salt, that sugar, that MSG, that vinegar powder that stuck to them. And they're plenty craggly and pretty, you know, uniform too. A little imperfect, but you know, that's beautiful in my opinion. Tots are beautiful. If we take one of our Ore-itas here, right, and we open it up, you can see what I'm talking about, that separated potato in there, right? You kind of see it, it's very shiny. It's almost like the pieces and the chunks of potato are separated. Let's break into ours. Ooh. Yeah, so you can see a little more mashed potato-y, but at the same time, still separated because we took such care to make sure that we, you know, kept it clumpy in there for that texture. So these are ours, these are Ore-itas. So ours is more real food looking. But Ore-itas is picture perfect. Before I show you how to serve these, we're gonna make some sauce, specifically 3 sauces. We're gonna make this quick and easy. All right, we're fried off and we're ready to talk sauce. If you're a ketchup enjoyer, go ahead and grab yourself a bottle, hit the table, and go to town. Me, I'm in the mood for something a little more interesting, so we're gonna make 3 sauces, right?
Oh, okay, he's making 3. I was like, what the fuck is he putting in this?
We got a fry sauce, kind of like a modified burger sauce. We got a...
So basically, mayo, ketchup, relish, a little mustard, a little Worcestershire, salt, pepper, garlic, onion powder.
Lemon pepper aioli instead of mayo. Just thought we'd bump up the flavor a little bit. And then we got classic ranch. Let's start with the fry sauce. To a mixing bowl. We're going in with our mayo, ketchup, shugs, a little lemon juice, a little bit of McDurber sauce. This is our spice blend here. I'm gonna have this on the webpage for you if you're interested, but we got our turmeric, mustard powder, black pepper, onion powder, celery seed, and paprika. Then just a pinch of salt, and maybe 2, 3, 4 cracks of BP. Now we're gonna mix that up. Basically a burger sauce of sorts. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Cool. Fry sauce, baby. Fry sauce.
All right, all right, all right.
Okay, we're gonna make a very special lemon pepper aioli because we're gonna use this ingredient here. My buddy Chef John Kung actually gifted me these a long time ago. They've just been kind of sitting, but they smell so fresh still, and these are insane. These are Macau mountain peppers, I believe they're pronounced. It's a Taiwanese thing. They're peppercorns, so they have that kind of like, you know, gnarly, like a Hall's cough drop, but it's that super intense lemon pepper citrus with that pepper, and I think it's gonna play really nicely. I've always wanted to use this in this exact application, so that's what we're gonna do. And just like any other whole spice, we're gonna toast these to really coax out that flavor. Mid-low heat, non-stick pan, hot pan. And I'm gonna toast these just until you can really start to smell that peppercorn, right? It's only gonna take a minute or so. The oils get coaxed out of the seed, and everything gets so much more flavorful. Do this with your whole spices. Don't forget it. Oh, wow. Holy heck. I'm not sure if you can see in there, but my lord, that's fragrant. All right, to a bowl. We're gonna whack in some mayonnaise, little bit of garlic, a little bit of sugar, pinch of kosher salt. We're gonna go in with a fair amount of that delicious black pepper. Look at that, it's like brown. Wow. Wow, I say. Of course, wouldn't be lemon pepper aioli without lemon. So we're gonna make this really lemony and add in the zest of a lemon and some lemon juice. Ooh, that's a seedy lemon. We're gonna use the whole dang thing here. We're going crazy. We're just gonna mix that around. We're calling that an aioli, but really it's just a flavored mayonnaise, right? Any flavored mayo in the States is called an aioli. Aioli is technically something different, and I actually have a video on that if you're interested. Oh, baby.
I don't care.
Nobody's gonna deny the pepper in this. All right, for the ranch, mixing bowl. We're going in with some creme fraiche, mayo, garlic, some chives, a little dill, lemon juice, onion powder, a little fresh cracked BP, and of course a healthy pinch of kosher. And if you want to learn more about the history of ranch dressing and how it's actually now America's most popular condiment, I got a video all about that. In the meantime, we mix.
Well, I know that when the Europeans came over here for FIFA and tasted ranch for the first time, they literally thought they were eating manna from heaven.
Now, if you like a thicker ranch, easy to do. We talk about texture control in the ranch video. Okay, it is finally TTT. Time to taste. The actual TTT. Okay, we got our tots here. We got our 3 sauces. We got the fry sauce, the ranch, and the lemon pepper aioli. I think we start this way. Why not? Ooh yeah. Okay, check this out. Lemon pepper aioli. This is looking dark. It does look really nice, I will say, and I love how it's got that little colic on it. Look at that. It looks like it could be a little cartoon character. Oh my god. As these sauces sit in the fridge, they will get stronger. So best to make this at least 30 minutes in advance, put it in the fridge, day, 2 days, 3 days even, get ahead of the game, whatever. But that, wow, it's been sitting for about, let's say 45 minutes, and that's pungent in a good way, really flavorful. I almost need to add like actual black pepper in there to make it more peppery because it's so lemony and delicious. Okay, down the line, you know it, you love it, homemade ranch, baby. If you've never tried ranch with your tots, you gotta, because it's dang nice. It's not just creamy, but it's tangy, and it plays really nicely with the extra tang from that vinegar powder on our tots. All right, next but not least, next but lastly, but not leastly, fry sauce. Look at that color. Yeah. Okay. It's been a while since I made this. It's a really good sauce. A little on the sweeter side, but good. That's pretty much Chick-fil-A sauce. So if you're ever looking for a
I don't know. Mustardnaise is good. Mustard chup is, or mayo chup is good. Or whatever the fuck it's called.
Chick-fil-A sauce recipe, use my fry sauce recipe. It's basically the same thing. Man, woo, it's nice though. And listen to this crunch too. These have been sitting out for like, I don't know, if I'm being honest with you guys, maybe an hour or so, and they're still plenty crispy. Are these better than the bagged tots? They're just completely different. If you want tater tots, go with the Ore-Ida bag, right? If you want something a little more special, you wanna have a fun night with friends or family, make something, I recommend this. This is not a waste of time. These are delicious, they look.
All right. Well, speaking of food, I gotta go out and cook my own. So that ends tonight's stream. Good night, everybody.